Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while, but we just built a new house and that's been taking up most of our time. But that being said, now that we're at our new location in front of our little mini castle, today we are going to do an install on the TRX Hellwig rear sway bar upgrade. These are all the parts that come in the kit, and these are all the tools that we will be using today. So now it says 3/4 inch deep socket. I'm using this one. I've got 11/16, the 5/8, and I'm using this adjustable for the 7/8 combination wrench. And I've got my ratchets. But first, what we're going to do is the end link bushing installation. So we are going to grease them, put them into a vise, press them together. We are going to have to do that a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I'm going to take care of that and we'll get back to it. All right, so I've done 3 of the bushings so far. We're going to do the 4th one, but I want to walk you through the process. My camera assistant's going to show you what I'm doing. So we're going to take the first, we're doing the bushing, putting the grease on this, spreading it around, making sure it's well grease-ficated. Then we're going to take the little steel center, same thing, put grease on that.
Daddy's starting to turn.
Don't worry about it. Put the grease fitting on that. I put grease on this. We put grease on this and grease on this. So now we're going to go over to the press and we're going to press it in. All right, so we're going to center it in the vise, press it in, and it should pop right in just like that. And now it's centered in place. Now we're going to take the metal piece, put it in until you can't put it anymore. Back into the vise, make sure you're centered. You're going to press it all the way in. And once you reach this point, you're going to keep going until you feel the metal touch both sides. So in the end, you'll see that it's at the same depth on both sides. All right, so we're going to attach the upper and lower end link together. We have to make sure we get the retaining nut in there, so that way we lock it in place. One of the other people I saw said to do it and turn it 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that gives us a good starting point. So I'll leave that one just as that. And I'm going to show you on this side. I threaded the nut in place. And same scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that was 8 half turns, so maybe that's only 4, but we'll go from there and we'll look. Now on to the next part, is attaching the end link to the threaded bracket on the frame using the M10 1.5 by 65 millimeter bolts, washers, and Loctite. So we're going to use a 15 millimeter socket and ratchet. Tighten, but don't torque. All right, so coming under the truck, there's the rear axle. You're going to come up to the frame, and then right over here, there's a bracket attached to this frame, and there's a bracket that comes right here underneath. It's holding a wiring harness. So this bracket you're going to want to remove this bolt, and this is a 16 millimeter head, and the new one that goes in is going to be the 15. So we're going to do that next. So you have the nut, or bolt rather, the washer, the sway bar, and the other washer. Then you're going to put it all up in this place right here. You're going to put the bracket back in place. Thread it back in by hand. And then I'm gonna not do this because I don't have enough space for it. So we're going to continue the next part with the socket. All right, so the next step is to attach the sway bar and link to the sway bar link using this 7/16 bolt. I'm going to stick it it's difficult to do this with one hand through the washer, through the sway bar, through the sway bar end link, another washer, and the 7/16 stover nut. So that's this nut right here that's got the 3 little triangles type things on the end, and it's sort of rounded off. It'll be the only one left that fits, because as you can see, the other nuts don't thread on, they just slide over. This will be the one that actually threads on. Let's go do this. So the bolt is 11/16, and this, I'm sorry, the nut is 11/16, and the bolt is 5/8. So I'm installing mine on the middle, on the inner one, because I want maximum sway bar link stiffiness, because I want this to be on as much rails as this could possibly be, which I know it's not going to be like a car or a dedicated sport truck, but I'm going to do what I can for me. All right, so next step is lubricating the bushings. The bushings are in here, and it says to put half a packet of lubricant on each of the inside of the bushings. You have a whole second thing of lubricant right here, and we're going to do that to both bushings right now. Next, we're putting on the bushings after I lubricated them. Lubricated nice, see the drippy drippy, and we're going to place them about here on each side of the axle. So you're going to place it about the same spot, and it'll slide left and right on the sway bar link about where it's going to sit on the axle. So I did the other side first so that I could see what I had to do. So everything is loose, able to move and whatnot. Nothing has been tightened down ridiculously. So for the next part, we need to take and attach the mounting brackets. So the U-joint bracket is going over the bushing. Then you're going to take the U-bolt right here, take it, slide it over the axle. Be careful where the brake line is. Now you take this giant thing, slide it into place, send the U-bolt through it, to that little U bracket joint thingy. Then you take and you put a washer and one nut for right now. Just hand tighten everything into place. And it says to do it evenly on both sides, not to over tighten one side versus another, which is a good thing. So I am going to grab my impact gun and send it in a little bit quicker, because I'm losing daylight and I still have to feed the kids dinner. So let's do that. All right, now that everything's in, so we are going to put the collar clamps on it, both sides, on the inside, closest to the pumpkin, on the bar. So that's these guys. Little bag and gloves. Not the easiest of combinations. There's a little Allen wrench that they send with it. Careful when taking this apart. There's a little crush washer in there you don't want to lose. Having said that, watch me lose one, because that's the way I do things. I hope it's going in and I'm not just spinning around for no reason. Yeah, it's going in. All right, I don't have a torque gun, but now we're gonna go around. Now we're gonna start tightening up all the nuts, bolts to their specs. But that being said, I don't actually own a torque wrench, so I'm going to purchase one, and I'm going to be tightening all these things up with an actual torque wrench later on, because I need another job. I need one for another job that I will be doing here shortly. That will probably be my next video. So I'm going to tighten up here, 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 and then put the double nuts on this after I tighten this down. And then I'm going to repeat on the other side. So let's do this. All right, so everything is now installed. took a lot longer than I anticipated. That's what it looks like under there. I have it on the tightest setting. Now let's go take it for a ride. All right, now you see a giant Twinkie next to me. My wife is a bus driver. So let's do a cold start, or somewhat of a cold start. It was running about 3.5 hours ago. And then take it for a ride, see if we notice a difference. So let's take this truck for a spin. See how much of a difference we notice. I'm gonna go on down a straight road at the moment, so obviously you don't notice very much. Feels tighter in the turns already. Wasn't a big turn. All right, first somewhat major turn. Yeah, feels better so far, but I'll know on my way to work tomorrow because I have a lot of twisty roads over there by the water. Oh yeah, truck stays much more planted, much more flat, much more level. First big turn. Yeah. Pretty good. I mean, it's not mind-bogglingly different, but again, I'm not doing any spirited driving at the moment. I guess it feels a little less throwy, so to speak. I'm getting into some of the turns here now. Oh yeah. I live on a bunch of nice mountain roads. Oh yeah. Definitely noticed a difference. Definitely. Felt a lot floatier before. Oh yeah. Should have done that to start with, the jerking from left to right, because before it would be like a lot of wig-bag. But now I'm on a dirt road. Pretty sure I'm not going to notice it as much on a dirt road because the rear end, oh maybe I will, I don't know. With the rear end sliding. Overall, I'm happy with it. You know, feels good. It's functional. Can't complain too much. Just doing what it is. Just getting rid of sway. Bump. I can feel the difference now, most definitely, with these these sharp, tight corners and turns. Not turns. Yeah, it's been a long day. No, I am happy. I feel good with having done this install. It's pretty straightforward. Provided you don't install the sway bar links upside down like I did. I'm happy. I think I'll wait a couple of days before I give a final thought. Drive it to and from work a couple of days and we'll be back. All right, everybody, here we are the next day. I have driven to work. Now I'm driving home. Some of the really nice back roads around where I live. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do too much of the spirited driving because there are some cars in front of me, sadly. But I could honestly say some of the things that I've noticed having put this sway bar on is just going down the road in a straight line. The sway that used to be here, just driving in a straight line via wind, bump in the road, aerodynamics, whatever you want to call it, it's much smoother. And don't feel like I'm being blown around as much, like with the rear end bouncing. But I can definitely tell you, the truck corners much flatter, and especially since I put it on the most like tightest version of it. Oh yeah, so much more confidence inspiring. Sadly, there's like 10 cars in front of me, and the best part about this road is over by the lake, and sadly I get the feeling that because all these vehicles are in front of me, I'm not going to be able to do it very well. In the mornings, I'm on the road between 3 and 4 in the morning, depending on when I decide to go in, and there are a lot of animals out. I don't really want to hit a deer or a bear, so I don't really do much spirited driving that early in the morning. Plus I'm tired, and I'd rather just focus on getting to work in one piece. But this time of the day, I think I've only ever seen one deer on this road, and at this time of the day, it's almost 6 o'clock, you know. But in conclusion, I would like to say that I am very, very happy with having done this. Truth be told, I wish I had done this before. It just changed the vehicle, you know, because once I'm doing like my normal driving roads that I do constantly, and where I take the turns that I would always take, like even right here, doing 30, it just stayed perfectly flat. There was always like a little tip in that I noticed, and then once the truck leveled out, it would be like bounce back. It stays flat, and because I have it on the stiffest setting, it almost feels like the front end now is not keeping up with the rear. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is get the Hellwig front sway bars to limit it, to match the rear end. And also being said today, the 20th of May, the Rumblebee coming out. Yeah, Hellcat powered Rumblebee street truck, which is what I wanted to do to this. I wanted to lower the truck. I am more of a street truck person. I never go off-roading, ever. And I've got a Jeep that I could use that for. It's not a Wrangler, it's a Commander, but it still serves that purpose. Function and purpose. You get purpose. I guess that's a new word I created in my mind, I guess, you know. But that being said, if you're on the fence on whether or not to do this, if you don't off-road that much, I would just say go for it. I really would. And that being said, if you do decide to do this, B Woody is willing, at least for me, to do their upgraded sway bar links, which are even stiffer and stronger, and which are going to create more anti-sway, I guess. Let's just go with that. And when I go to do the fronts, I'm definitely going to do the rears at the same time, because after having felt this, I would like to make the suspension better, because I like tracking this, and I want to see when the Rumblebee comes out if the suspension setup and tuning is possible to take from that and put on this. Maybe create my own Frankenbee, so to speak, you know, because I get so much more enjoyment of being on the road and just bombing around. And then they were saying that the new Ram Rumblebee is going to have a top speed of 177 miles per hour, and they're going to have 777 horsepower out of that motor. Well, hint, hint, I did get a new underdrive pulley for this. That is going to be hopefully the next video, and I'm going to be installing that. And that gives you anywhere from 40 to 75 45 to 70 horsepower, which is 1.5 to 2 pounds of boost, depending on the vehicle. And from what I've heard, the higher the mileage of the vehicle, usually the more yield it gets because the motor is more broken in. Well, I don't know how you get much more broken than 91,500. Yes, I have almost 92,000 miles on this truck.
The final
long
frontier.
story. It was all part of moving up here and my Jeep braking and my 300 going down. So this was never meant to be my daily driver. But this truck entered my life at a good time. I needed a truck and I didn't even know it because we sold our previous house. We moved up here, towing, carrying stuff, moving things. My wife got goats. I pick up hay with the truck. I moved the house with it, you know what I mean? And I used the bed way more than I ever thought I would. Again, I love the truck, I really do. I truthfully thought that I would miss the Hellcat more, and I don't. But that being said, I still would like one someday. I do miss it and the memories that I made with my children, and I do like being down to the ground. Like I said, I am more of a street truck car person. I've always had my Grand Cherokees, but I've always sort of made them like a streetable vehicle, you know what I mean? I usually put like bigger, wider wheels and tires on them and made them a little bit more road handling worthy versus off-road. But I'm just rambling at this point, so I would like to say thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you feel you should do so. As always, be well, stay safe.